Hi, thank you so much for buying this tutorial. I'm going to take you through the whole process of creating this pendant using the helicoïdal setting technique. So I'm going to show you the two-wire version of this technique, which is pretty cool. We're going to be making double coils, making a beautiful bail, and yeah, turning all that into a pendant. So I hope you enjoy it, and yeah, let's start with the materials we need. Okay, so this is the list of materials we will be needing. So we will take a small cabochon about 1 centimeter, 10 millimeters. I don't have one right now, but it's just a round cabochon. Some 18 gauge square wire. This is copper wire, that's soft. This is going to be for the frame. So then for the helicoïdal setting, we're going to be using some 22 gauge square wire, that's soft as well, and 28 gauge weaving wire. Then for the double coil, I mean, you can always, if you're used to do some double coils, you can make the one you like the best. For me, I will be using some 20 gauge half round wire as the first base wire. Then I'm going to coil that with some 30 gauge weaving wire, and both of them I'm going to coil them again around two 20 gauge, where do I have it, two 20 gauge square wires. Okay, so everything is listed here. And for the bail I'm going to for the double coil also, once we wrapped, we made the double coil, the last weaving wire in the outside will be 26, so it's here as well. And for the bail we're going to be using 20 gauge square wire and 30 gauge weaving wire. That being said, you can always change the wires and use the ones you already have done. So I would rather have you watching this video until the end and watching all the techniques, and then see what you have and see if you can adapt the technique with the wires you already have. All the square wires, almost all of them, can be replaced with round wires, for example. And if you don't have 30 gauge, 28 gauge, 26 gauge weaving wire, and you only have 28, for example, then just use 28 for everything and it will be just fine. With that being said, yeah, let's start. So to start the project, we're going to begin creating the setting for the stone. So the stone we're going to be using is this little round cabochon labradorite. This is 1 centimeter from side to side. And for the setting, we're going to use our 36 inches long 22 gauge square wire, that's soft. So what we're going to do is that we're going to measure 3 inches and bend the wire. Alright, so we have 3 inches from here to here, and we're going to bend the wire all the length of the wire like this. So again. Try to do it as even as possible, and trying to get to stay with the wire square. I actually created a jig for this. I won't be using it for the sake of the video because you guys don't have it, but I will show it to you anyways, so that, you know, if you want to make one, it's very easy. So I'll come back when we're done with this. Okay, so this is what we should be having when we finish bending the wires. So what we're going to do here is that we will open the wires, the corners here, where the end of the wire is not. So the wire ends are here, so we want to bend it this way, right? So we can do it with our fingers very easily, creating like a star or a sun. Like so. So now we want to take our flat nose pliers and flatten the wires together like this, all of them. As you can see, sometimes it's like this, so we want them to be sitting flat, one next to each other. Okay, so this is what we want. The two wire ends should be parallel, like this. And of course, right now it looks like nothing because the wires are not secured. But this is the shape we want. Well, so I just figured that I made a mistake and I have 7 points instead of 6, and I wanted to do 6. So well, instead of starting again, we can just take away one of these and make it like this, and now we have 6 points. So this is what we're going to do. Cut here, and there we go. Sorry for the mistake, but then again, if it happens to you, well, this is a way to fix it, right? So for our next step, we want to secure all the wires together here in the middle, to then be able to secure the stone. So for that, we're going to use some 28 gauge wire, about 16 inches, 40 centimeters, and we're going to secure the two wires, the two wire ends right here. So for starting, I want to put them together. That's the step we made before, but since I took away some wire, then I have to do it again. at least on this part. Okay, so what we want to do is we're going to place our weaving wire underneath the two wires, like this. And then we're going to wrap both of the square wires 4 times. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now we push our how can we call this, our small coil in the corner where the two wires meet, like this, and then we go to the next two wires. So we started here, now we go here. Again, the wire goes underneath and we start securing the wires together. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Again, we push the wires the closest to the center as possible, and we continue with the next. Sometimes what can happen is that, you know, one of the corners, if I can call this like that, will not be right in front. So this one here is going a bit further that way. So that's very easy. You can just push the wire a bit, you know, to the other side, or if you take some round nose pliers, you hold here and you twist a little bit, so this will move this corner a bit to the back, so that they are right in front, you know, one of the other. I hope everything is understandable. I know my wire wrapping vocabulary is not the best. So we secure again 4 times. And we repeat the process, you know, all the way to the end. And to the end I will show you what to do to close it. So there we go. This is from the top, and this is from behind. So what we want to do now to secure our weaving wire ends is just to secure it around one wire here. I don't know if you can see here in the center. So in one of the corners. So we wrap it 1, 2 times. Oops. And the other wire end, we just do the same. So 1 time in the center, and again a second one. And there we go. Now to cut them, we just well, this is how it should look. One side, the other side. To cut them, we just take the weaving wire and move it around, and there we go. So this is the base for the setting, the 2 wires helicoïdal setting. As you can see, we only used 2 wires to make this. So we want to place our stone right in the middle of the hexagon star. And what I want to do is to create a mark on the wires where the border of the stone is. So for that I will use this tool. It's just to mark the wire. You can use a pencil, a Sharpie, whatever you want, and create the lines where the border is. So I don't know if you can see the lines I created all around. And now with our pliers, whatever pliers, you can start bending the wires to the front. So this is the back. So we bend here, following the lines we just created before. And so this way we get some kind of a basket for the stone to sit inside, in the middle. Sometimes it's difficult to to have it on the right side, like this. So right now my basket is a bit wide, but that doesn't matter too much. So we're going to open just a bit our wires so that we can see what's happening inside. And now, you know what, we're going to make it a bit tighter here inside. So how do we do that? We just take our pliers and, you know, bend all these little wires just a little bit more to close the space inside. Let's try like this. Okay, this is a lot better. So what we want to do here This is the where the fun part starts. We want to take one of our pointy ends here. I'll start with the wire ends that I have here, these ones, and oh, the stone flipped, and place it after the wires that follow these ones to the right. So we're going to use these ones and we place them after these ones. Okay, like this. Always trying to keep our square wires as flat as possible. That stone is moving everywhere. That doesn't matter. It will probably happen to you too. Okay, now the next wires to the right, so this one, these ones, we bend them the same way in between, after the wires that follow. Like so. Don't do it too tight, because we want to be able to tie it after. So we continue this same method, you know, like this. This is the look you should be getting. Until the last one. So now this is the last one we have, and now it's a bit tricky to put it where it should go. So what we're going to do is to take a tool with a pointy end like this one and create a gap where we want the wires to go. So this wire here, this wire here wants to go here inside where this metal thing is going. So now that we created the gap, carefully we want to bend this wire and place it inside, all right, that gap we just created, and very carefully bend it back into position. Pull the wires, do it slowly, because you know this kind of thing can happen. So just do it slowly, place the wires where you want them to go, or even what you can do, what is easier actually, is that you can cut here the end so that you have now two different wires, and you will take one of those and pull it, and then take the second one and pull it too. It's a bit easier when you have two separate wires to pull. So this is what we get when we're done. Of course, right now it doesn't look super even and nice. So for that, we will cut all our corners here. well, we don't have two wires anymore. And now that we have all these different wire ends, we can tighten them individually. So we will just pull on them one by one all the way and tight the whole setting. So the stones will get no, the wires will get closer to the edge of the stone, showing us more of the stone. It will be less hidden by the wires. And of course, with your fingers, try to make it look as even as possible. Like so. And we have our helicoidal setting done. Now we want to turn this helicoidal setting into some sort of mandala. So for that, we want to bend all our wires, like going straight from the center of the setting up. Okay, so we can do it with our fingers like this very easily. Okay, like this. And now we will separate them. So instead of the wires to be, next to each other, we're going to bend them from one side to the other. And for that, we can use our pliers that will create an even distance every time we do this. So let me show you. With these wires here, with these pliers, I mean, I will bend the wire this way and then back up. So my pliers are as close as possible to the setting. Okay? And we repeat the process with all the wires. So here the pliers as close to the setting, and we create a bend like this. I know it looks kind of weird, but that's normal. Okay, there we go. So this is what we have done now, and what will happen here is that we will secure the wires like this. This one's here, here, here and all the way around. So again, we take our flat nose pliers to, flatten the wires together. So that they sit next to each other. So now that I'm done, this is how it should look. So with some 28 gauge round wire, we're going to secure each one of these wires here. Here I have 6 pieces of 10 inches 28 gauge wire. So we find the middle of one wire and we place it like this, and we secure the wires together again 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we push it as close as we can, like this. Yes. So now the wire we have here, we're going to secure it to the wire to the left side. Okay, so this we can do it 2 times, 3 times, as you want. I like how it looks with 3. So 1, 2, 3, and see, always I wrap from the outside to the inside. Like this. And then the other wire we will do the same, but this one comes we have to like place it in a way that it doesn't look ugly from the front, so it will be placed like this, as you can see. So now from the front it's here below, and again from the outside to the inside. So this is how it should look. And again, to cut our wires, we just move them around like so. So we repeat that same process for the rest of the wires. Okay, this is how the setting looks. This is the front. You can see all the wires we used to secure here around, and this is the back. So as I told you, see, this is not exactly on the middle, but from the front you cannot really see that. So now that our setting is ready, we're going to create a frame and then secure the setting to the frame. Now we take our 11-inch 18 gauge square wire. This is again dead soft. You can use half hard if you want. And we're going to balance it to find the center. For this I'm using a mandrel, and I'm going to create a circle with it. I want to be checking on the size, of course, so this looks pretty good. If your stone is bigger, maybe, take a round shaped tool of piece of wood that fits the size you need. But for me, this is going to be perfect. And our setting will fit here in the middle. So what we want to do now is to bend our wires up. So for that I'm going to take my pliers here and bend my first wire up, and the second wire I want to place my pliers, just before the curve, so that they are right, the wires are in front of each other. Now I can take some flat nose pliers and push the wires together like this. Yep. So now I have a piece of scrap copper wire. This is 18 gauge half round, and I will use it to secure my wires together. So what I want to do is to place it like this. Oh, this is 3 inches, by the way. I want to place it close to the middle, not exactly, so that I can secure the wires together 2 times, and then secure the wire ends to the circle part of the wire. So for that I'm going to use my pliers to do it tight enough, like so, and the other side the same, just like we did before, actually, with that 28 gauge wire. I like that technique because from the front it looks exactly like symmetrical. You know what I mean, like this. Of course, from the back it doesn't, but what I like to do is to place this part actually behind the necklace, because this will be hidden and this will be visible from behind. So yeah, that's just how I like to do it. Here we can cut the wire ends and apply some more pressure there. So from the front it should look like this, and from the back like this. So our next step will be to secure our setting to the frame. So for that, I will cut my wire ends so that they are not, you know, as long as we have them right now. So at this point, we really want to make sure that, you know, the lines are as straight as possible. What do I mean with this? For example, the line created between these wires here and these wires here has to be as straight as possible. This is what I mean. So try to do that with all the wires, because it will make it look a lot better in our end result. Yeah, this looks pretty good. So now we place the star in the middle. Try to have an even distance from where the coiling wire ends and the frame begins. What I mean is, how can I show you? This distance here, have to try to have the same distance all around, so that the stone, you know, is in the middle. Something like this. Yeah. Now we take our pliers. We have to hold it pretty strong so that it doesn't move. All right. So once you place it in position, hold it as strong as you can without bending your frame, because it's that soft. I mean, I use that soft. Maybe you didn't. So I'm going to secure one of the wires to the frame. I'm just doing it like this with one loop, okay? Only one. Now what I want to do is to secure the wire that is in front. So I secure this one, then I'm going to the opposite side and secure it the same way. So I take the wire on the right side. You can take the other one if you want. And, you know, not too tight. We want to be able to adjust it, but just try to have the same distances on one side and the other, and place it, yeah, as closest to the center as you can. And then take another piece of wire and do the same. Again, opposite direction. and as much as you can, try to keep the square wire, with one side facing the frame, and making sure it stays like this all the time. Because it makes it sturdier, cleaner, more comfortable on the skin as well. And that's very important when you wear jewelry, because when it's not comfortable, you don't want to use it. So now, it's kind of secured. You can move it around, but that's what we wanted. We wanted to be able to play with it and find the best spot. So what I do here is that I take my pliers, I don't know if we can see properly, as close to the frame as possible, and then if I turn my plier, it will get tighter to the frame, but also it will pull on it, so it will move my setting more to the right. It's like making a lever with the plier. So if you need to do that, you can do it, but I like how this is looking right now, so I'm not going to change it. Now what we can do is that we place it in position and start tightening all the wires we secured just before, so that it doesn't move around anymore. Nice, there we go. Once this is done, we can again take the same wire ends and place them so that the end is looking up. I'll show you like this. Can you see it there? So we will repeat the same with all the wires we used to secure the setting to the frame. Nice. And now that all our wires are placed in the correct position, we will just have to secure the rest of the wires. So, the big ones we didn't secure yet. Well, like this for all of them. I just finished securing all the wires, as you can see. So now what I want to do is to cut them. So the exact place where I want to cut them is right here. So I'll just cut this one and show you how it looks. see, right here. So I want to do that with all my wires. There we go. So I always try to keep my wire ends like this inside, because, and looking to the front actually, if I am going to cover that with something else. In this case, we're going to cover where our wires are secured with a double coil, so they will be hidden. But also what I like about doing this is that from the back we have no wire ends, so everything is comfortable on the skin. If some of your wires are not sitting flush against the frame, you can always use your pliers to correct their position. Also, what I like to do is to squeeze the wires together like this. Oh, this one wasn't tight enough. And yeah, squeeze them together like so, so that, you know, it looks tighter and cleaner. Like this. So yeah, now we'll make our double coil. So to start with the double coil, I'll show you the tools I use. So this is a tube, right? So it's empty inside, and I use it to put my wires inside when the coil is going to be very long. So this came from an antenna, an old antenna from a radio. So yeah, this is one tool. And the other one is a drill. Actually, I had a less fancy drill before, and it was working before. It was working better, because when you close this, see here, there's like a space, and in the other cheaper one that I have, there was no space. So if you have one without a space here in the middle, it's better. And if you have this, well, you can still use it. I'll show you how. So yeah, these are the two tools that I need for the double coils. Also, we will need a way to secure this to the table so that it doesn't move. So what I use for that is my spools. I just put this inside so that, you know, when I'm using it, it doesn't move away. It has like a strong base to sit on. So my favorite wires for double coils are these. So this is 20 gauge half round dead soft wire. This is the base wire of the first coil. Then I use 30 gauge round, okay, for the thinner wire. And then for the base inside, I like to use 22 gauge square, two of them actually. So those are the wires we're going to use. And So first I'm going to take some of the 30 gauge and take a lot because it will be a big double coil. So I'm taking one, 2 meters, maybe a bit more. I'm planning on creating a double coil chart for the YouTube channel, but right now I don't have it ready. So yeah, about 2 meters of this 30 gauge wire, and then our first base wire, the half round 20 gauge, I'm going to take a lot also, about 1 meter. So here my spool, I'm going to place it maybe right here so that you can see where it is. I'm going to create a base for it so that it's not moving around. Place my tube. I really don't know how to call this, sorry. And place the wire inside. Okay. This is maybe a bit long. Yeah. So I will make it a bit shorter for you guys to be able to see what I'm doing. Then I want to bend the end of my wire here, so I'll show it to you better, like this, just so that the drill can hold it. Oh, wait, can you see that? Yeah. So the wire goes inside right there. Then we secure the wire with the drill. Alright. And then we take our 30 gauge wire that is all messed up. So yeah, it's much easier to make smaller double coils than the longer ones. So now I want to secure my smaller wire to the base, a few spins. And there we go. Now we are ready to start coiling. So very gently, I'm using speed number 1, so the slower one, and just hold the wire and start turning. Okay. So here's our coil. super nice, super clean, and this is what we're going to use. So the next step is to take our 22 gauge and we're going to use about, let me see, yeah, about 10 inches, so 2 times 5. What we can do that holds better is to take 5 inches here, then bend the wire and then cut. So now we have one piece bent by the middle like this. Like this. So now we take our wire here, we make sure it's parallel, like the square wires are exactly parallel, and we secure the end, or the beginning actually, of the coil we just made. Like this. Now again we can take our drill, secure those wires into place, and as you can see, it doesn't, the hole is too big, so I will create you know, something that will make the drill hold to the wire like this. There we go. And now very gently we start coiling. And my drill is spinning everything. Okay, we'll do it by hand. So by hand I like to take my nylon tip pliers and just very gently spin the wires to create the coil. So yeah, this is one of my favorite double coils because it looks wide but kind of flat on one side. So yeah, I really enjoy this one. So I'll show you guys you know, the final result when when I finish coiling all this. Okay, so here is our coil. And now what I want to do is to add one more wire, 26 G wire. Yeah, here. So here I have a piece of 12 inches, 26 gauge wire. I want to leave about 3 inches free and start from the middle to the outside. Okay, like this. And take another piece of 26 gauge wire, another one, and repeat the same process. So again, from the center I leave some available wire and I start coiling. So what I'm doing here, why didn't I take only one piece of wire to add this last wire? Because by doing this here, I can now secure the center of the coil to the frame. So if this is not exactly in the center, I can just take off one loop of one wire and replace it by the other one. So now I'll cut the excess wire on both sides. Like this. And there we go. Now we have our nice double coil. What we want to do now is to bend our double coil round so that we can place it around our frame. So since we used this mandrel to give a shape to the frame, now we're using it again. Like this. And here the size is pretty good. So what we're going to do next is to cut here the excess wire we have and get ready to secure our double coil to the frame. So on this step, what I like to do is, here I have two wires, right? So I will bend them down, and on the other side too. These wires are a bit messed up, but it's not a big deal. And we bend them down like this. and the one on the inside, we're going to cut it about 1 millimeter, you know, from where we bent the wire. And the other one too, same. Nice. So now we can place our double coil into position. First, I want to be sure that, you know, the shape is perfect. And now I can place my double coil in position. Like this. Oh, but actually, yeah, it's from the outside, like this. So the wires we left here are going, you know, outside, not inside the frame. And now it's very easy. We just have to, yeah, secure it to the frame. So we take that wire and secure it to the frame, like so. I'll show you a close-up. Yeah, like this. Right here. Okay, and the other one. So as you can see, I'm bending the wire, but I'm placing it inside. So I'm not securing it on that direction, but more on this direction. Come on. Okay, I got it. So you see, to the inside, so closer to going towards the coil, the double coil. So now we just, you know, add some pressure, cut the other one about, yeah, 2 millimeters from the border, and bend it inside. Oh, like just like this. All right. And our next step will be to secure these two wires here to the frame so that the double coil doesn't move at all. So now we take the wires we have here that we left from the double coil, and we'll cross them under the frame like so. Being careful that everything looks nice. So what I mean by crossing is this. So the wire coming from outside goes under the frame and becomes this, and the wire coming from inside goes under the frame and is this one. So they cross. And now, very simple, we just secure them, coil them around the frame 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the same with the other one. Just secure them to the frame. Good. So now it should look like this. Again, to cut our wires, my favorite technique. And there we go. Perfect. Beautiful. So now for our last and final step, we're going to create the bail. So to create the bail, here I have 4 pieces of 22 gauge square wire. These are 4 inches each. This is dead soft. You can use half hard if you want. And here I have 24 inches of 30 gauge round wire. So what we need to do first is to separate here our 2 frame wires, and I'm going to create a space in between, and it has to be the same on both sides. So I'm going to use I'm using the width of my flat nose pliers to do this. To create this shape right here. So now we can leave this aside, take our 4 square wires, and we will leave about maybe half an inch, 3/4 of an inch available, and we'll secure the wire to the first of the 4 wires. 2, 3, 4, I always do it 4 times. And now we separate the wires, we organize them a little better, and so we go. On top of 2, and then we go under 2, okay? Then 1 full rotation on the wire that is on the last one, and again on top of 2 and under 2. So here around the one in the border, 1 full rotation on top of 2, and then under the other 2, 1 full rotation around the wire here on the border, and again on top of 2 and under the other 2. And this is the weave. I'll continue to do it in front of you, and I'll try to keep it as straight as possible. Trying to keep it as tight as possible. Yeah, so this is the weave. So we're going to be making about 3/4 of an inch of this weave. I only made 1/2 inch and not 3/4 because is just what I need. So here what we're going to do is that we will secure this weave here and here, and then bend all the wires to create the bail. So the bail will go in front, to the front. And from my experience, when I see this, I think 1/2 inch is just enough. So check for yourselves. Here I'm going to cut the weaving wire, and now we will separate the wires just a bit, trying to make it as symmetrical as possible. All right, just like this. So what I want to do now is to coil my weaving wire 4 times around this wire, the one on the outside. And then the weave is 4 around one, and then 2 around the 2 wires, and then 4 around one and 2 around the 2 wires. Is one of the weaves I use the most. Like this. So we will do that and repeat the pattern, let's say 5 times, and we'll see from there. So yeah, this is what we're going to do. It's funny because as I make this pendant, I change my mind, and you know, as when we make a necklace, we're creating. So let's improvise this tutorial. Here what I want to make is to separate these two wires like this. I'll try to see where I want them to go. Yeah, this looks pretty good. So now, oops, we go under one full rotation around the wire that is on the other side, one full rotation, and then we go here towards us, one full rotation, and then to the other side, and so on. This is how it looks. And we're going to make this weave until we have enough. So we have to be checking with the rest of the pendant. So what I want here is to hide this part here of the pendant with the veil, and I want this weave to cover the side until the frame. So we still need to make a bit more of this. And check again. We're getting close enough. Just a bit more. And yeah, I think we're good now. So now I want to make a few more rotations here. 3, and cut our wire. And now we just have to do the same on the other side. So we take one more piece of 30 gauge weaving wire, about maybe 15 15 inches to be sure. And we secure it. So what I like to do is saying that this is the front, right? Our weaving wire here, I'm going to place it like this. So the end is in front. And from here, I secure it to the wire 4 times, as we did on the other side. Now 2 times around both wires, 4 times around the one wire in the outside, the same weave as before, and so on. It's the same process as before. You just want to be careful that the weave you're going to be doing here is the same. I mean, the one you're going to be making on this side is the same as this one. So for that, you can measure, you know, and try to see how long it is from where the weave starts until the end, so that you can mirror that on the other side. And I'll come back to you when I'm done with this side. Okay, so I just finished mirroring our bail. And so what I want to do now is to cut you know, our wire here from the beginning, the same way as usual. And why did I do it like this? Is because now that little piece of wire is in between the 2 base wires of the weave, so it can really not go anywhere. So that's why you cannot even see where it is. Okay, now we want to separate these wires here and place the whole thing from behind our pendant like this. All right. So with our pliers, we will secure the wires, the 2 that were in the middle of the weave. So this one and this one, secure them to that frame wire that is well, now our bail frame wire, like this. Leave it a bit loose at the beginning to do the other side. And as much as you can now, try to place it as close to the center as possible. So as you can see, mine right now is a bit on the side, so I want to do that lever thing I was telling you before on the right side, so that it's more center. Perfect. Okay, now on the other side. So right now this is the wire we just secured, and I want to cut it like 1 or 2 millimeters, you know, from the frame wire, so that I can use my plier and bend it inside, just like this, right here. And the same with the other one. Just bend it, cut it, and use our pliers. And now we have these other 2 wires here. So that's very simple. We just bend them like this, and we just cut them. And yeah, tuck them inside. And now the other side. Just the same. So it should look something like this. Good. All right. So the base wires, I want the base, the frame wires, I want to bend them following the curve of the weave we just made. So very gently, no hard bends. And it doesn't have to be exact, but as close as we can. Like this is enough for now. Okay, next step. With our bail forming pliers, or you know, anything, we can use, you know, a pencil, whatever we want. I will use these because I have them, but you can really use whatever you want to do this. And first we will bend the weave, all right, and not the other frame wires. So here we will choose how big we want our bail to be. And for me, the important part here is to be able to hide where I'm attaching my wires, you know, to the frame. So I want the bail to kind of hide that. So a bit more down. Yeah. And now I want to open the wings. They look like wings a bit more to, well, hide, you know, a bit more those wires. And now we'll repeat pretty much the same process with the frame wires here. So put the bay pliers in position and then bend the frame wires like this, and the other side too. Slowly, we're not in a hurry. And now with our fingers finish forming the big wires here. So we want them to follow, you know, that weave. Something like this. So as you can see, all the places where the wires are attached here behind are totally hidden from the front, and that's what we were looking for. So here we're going to attach all the wires, our 6 wires here, okay, in this space, available space here in the frame. And the bigger one will be, well, the frame wire. So we want to make sure that this wire will have enough space to be secured. So that's the first one we're going to be securing to the frame. Make sure to always check on your symmetry. Well, if you're making it symmetrical. Actually, this kind of, you know, bail is nice when you don't do it symmetrical also. So yeah, you can do that too. So here, as you can see, I'm bending my frame bail wire and is placed where I can attach it. So that's a good position. Now we'll do the same with the other one. Okay, checking on the symmetry, looking good. So now we can secure it. So for this I'm going to cut them a bit shorter so that it's easier to work with them. And I'm going to take one side and secure it to the frame, and I want the wires to come out of that you know, loop that we're making around the frame. The wire will come out on the bail side, like this. So this is the wire, and it's coming out of the loop on this side here, not this side here. Okay, that's good. And try to make your wire finish on the inside that way, so that, you know, it doesn't bother the skin. And now the same on the other side. Yeah, always check your symmetry, because in this part it can be crucial. Anytime you pull on a wire, everything moves. So yeah, check on that. Okay, good. Nice. And now that the big wires are secured, we go with the wings. So the first ones that we are going to secure are these ones here, and it's very easy. We just have to follow the line from the previous wire. Oops. And this one, we will secure it to, well, this way. So you can see the loop. And just, yeah, pull on it and move it as close as you can to the previous wire, so that they look nice and close together. And then you can go with the second one. And so this one, I secured it going down, right? The loop going down. And this one will be secured going up, right next to the one before, like this. Good. Now we want to do the same on the other side. And this is how it should look. That's very nice. Okay, so the wires we have behind, we just cut them the same, 2 millimeters from the frame wire, and then we push those wires inside, nice and clean, like this. And the same on the other side. So this is our finished piece. Now I will go through a very quick polishing. I won't be oxidizing this piece because I don't have liver of sulfur anymore. But you can find a whole video here on the website or on YouTube with the process that I use to polish my jewelry. But for this one, I will just be going through some simple polishing because I don't have any marks on the pendant. So this is how it looks like. So this is what you can make with it, and also change your weaves, change your coils, play around. Like the mistake I made on the beginning, you know, with the helicoïdal setting. I had 7 ends instead of 6, but if you use 7 it works as well, and you can do it with 8 and 9 and as much as you want, as long as the stone is, you know, big enough. So we have come to an end of this tutorial. I really hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed making this. There is plenty of different techniques here, and yet it's a very simple pendant, and that's the beauty of it, is that, you know, it's simple but intricate at the same time, but not too much. It's not too loaded. So that's pretty cool. The helicoidal setting, you can change it, and instead of having 6 sides, you can have 7 or 5 or whatever you want. Yeah, you can really change it the way you like the most. The double coil, you can, you know, replace it and put a weave if you prefer. That's just fine. And yeah, just apply the techniques in your own design or make the same. that's cool for me. So yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much, and I hope this will help you in your wire wrapping journey. See you in the next tutorial.